Abnormal Andy and Phantom Dark Dave. The Screaming Skull Podcast.
What's up, everybody? You're listening to a brand new episode of the Screaming Skull Podcast, and we are your host. I'm Phantom Dark Dave.
And I'm Abnormal Andy.
Andy, did you like that little break we took?
Yeah, it was nice, man. Kind of stretched my legs out there a little bit, and yeah, it was nice.
Good. We're lucky we had a couple episodes that hadn't been released yet that we were able to place in our absence because my birthday passed and you and I both had some crazy work schedules, and so we didn't put out the episode that we planned, but instead we found our House of the Devil episode from 2009, which is still extremely awesome. It made its debut to Scream and Skull podcast, and now we're back. And Andy, think about it, we're kind of starting season 2 of our podcast.
That's true. Yeah, this is like year two, start of year two, and it's great. It's crazy to think it's been a year already.
Yeah, man, and but it's cool because we're only going to keep getting better. And the reason I can say that is because we got another guest on the show, and he's one of our mutual homies. Do you want to introduce him?
Sure, man. He is the great here on Mars. He's a great musician, a great friend, and it's Randy.
Well, thank you kindly. It's good
Yeah.
to be here.
Yeah, and he
This
loves
is-
QT.
Yeah,
I do. I've got my QT cup here. Of course, you guys
Awesome.
listening in can't see that, but I gotta say, this is my I don't even know how many times I've been on a podcast with both of you on different occasions. And but this has been the journey with Screaming Skull has been my favorite thing that you guys have done. I just like the format, and you always talk about stuff that's right up my alley. So it's been cool, man.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, yeah, and speaking of things right up your alley, you chose the movie for today.
I
And
did.
so, yeah, man, this was a movie that I had heard of. Andy, did you hear about it when it first came out?
Yeah, I did hear about it, but I just never took the time to watch it. I don't know why.
I didn't either, man. It took somebody like Randy to just say, "You guys need to see this movie."
Yeah.
Okay, that was going to be my question if y'all had seen it. And are you into this particular vein of horror?
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
Go
for me, I definitely am. I mean, I'm a big Lovecraft fan, so I don't know. What about you, Dave?
not as much.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let the cat out of the bag right now. I did not love this movie.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people will, so I'm happy to talk about it with you guys. And so, actually, Andy, I'm going to use that as a segue. Obviously, you just said you're a fan of Lovecraft. What would be your favorite Lovecraft story?
Let's see. My favorite, probably, uh, At the Mouth of Madness. Or wait,
Okay.
no, I got that name wrong. It's At the Mountains of Madness, I think.
I was going
is
to
what
say, I
it's
think
called.
you mixed the two, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy to do.
Yeah.
Even
easy to do.
though Mouth of Madness from John Carpenter was inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a good movie too. And that's the thing where I come from is I didn't read a lot of H.P. Lovecraft, but I knew what he was known for. I was much more of an Edgar Allan Poe guy. But where Edgar Allan Poe wrote about things like betrayal and murder, you had H.P. Lovecraft who wrote about things with tentacles and things that come from the ocean and the stars, which does kind of fascinate me story wise. But out of all the stories, I think the one that intrigued me the most was a real simple one called Cool Air. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
About the guy in the apartment who keeps his thermostat on like 56 all the time and freezes it out. But then his kind of like refrigerating cooling system that he uses, like the pump breaks on it and it starts to warm up. And because of that, he starts decomposing. It's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, Lovecraft, he does like these stories just about odd things, and like sometimes they're scary and sometimes they're not. It's just
Weird
that
tales.
unknown, yeah, the unknown factor, and yeah, it's cool. There's always something. It's like it's just weird, like something weird, and so I just I'm a big fan of that.
I think that's the perfect way to describe this movie. Weird.
Yeah.
How about you, Randy? Outside of this movie, did you have any other knowledge of H.P. Lovecraft stuff?
It's funny because he's one of those guys. I mean, he never got the recognition during his life that he ended up getting afterwards. And my entire everything I know about H.P. Lovecraft up until I would say like maybe a year, 2 years ago, it's all been informed by all the stuff that he inspired since then. So like Warhammer 40,000.
Oh, did he inspire that?
Yeah, oh yeah,
That's
big
cool.
time. Yeah, I mean I guess I should say he inspires the vibe that
Right.
because from what I can tell, he's all about vibe. And I still haven't read most of his stories, almost all of his stories. We got his books now, and my son's getting into them. But
Yeah.
I know what his vibe is, and it's that hopeless kind of just grim, unknowable um vibe that where like it's like, yeah, that's true horror to me. And I know horror can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people, but I do like the cosmic aspect of all of it. And to me, it just totally blends in with like a science fiction horror style, which is 100% up my alley. I think it's the best marriage of two genres you can have, sci-fi horror.
Yeah, I've heard
Um,
you say that before on different
oh,
podcasts too. So when you
oh
picked
yeah.
this movie, I was like, of course it's a sci-fi horror movie. That's his
Yeah,
gig, man.
absolutely. And it's why I like stuff like Event Horizon, which I know that's not one of your favorite movies either, but
Are
that's
you
cool,
seeing a
man.
pattern?
Yeah,
I don't think I'm a
100%.
sci-fi horror guy.
Probably not, but that's cool, man. But yeah, I've still not really dug into his stories. When I do read them, when I have read what I have read, it's always just weird to read the old style of English that was around like 100 years ago.
You're
And
not kidding.
yeah, and he's this New England kind of guy, and just they have a manner of speaking that yeah,
Yeah, side
totally.
note, he was also super tall. I don't know if you guys seen pictures of him,
Oh
but dude, he
yeah,
towered people.
yeah. He was a weird dude.
That's the kind
Yeah.
of
And
guy you need to write these stories, though.
yeah, yeah. And I think also he really he I'm not saying he believed that Cthulhu was an actual thing. He truly believed that humans were insignificant in the universe and we're literally just bacteria to what's out there. You know what I mean? Which
Hmm.
I don't believe, not by a long shot. But for my horror, I think it's terribly scary. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway,
a lot of the things that people come up against in like a Lovecraft story, it's not necessarily like good versus evil. It's just this thing out there that had, like you said, it looks at us like ants. And
yeah.
so it's not necessarily evil, but it just has no morality. Just it's like utterly alien, incomprehensible. And it just like, if it wipes out a planet, it's just like swatting a gnat, basically. Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
You know what that makes me think of, Andy? The way Randy talked about Warhammer 40K was inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. Stephen King was inspired by H.P. Lovecraft, and it's all over that movie, The Mist. That was so
Oh yeah.
Lovecraft.
Is that a
Yeah.
newer one or is that?
Yeah,
I
the
mean, compared to
mist.
his classics, yes, it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that
I heard
Thomas
about
Jane
that.
movie. It's really good. You, I think, personally
I'll
would love
check
it.
it out. I'll check it out for sure.
Andy, did it make both of our top five Stephen King movie list back when we did that
It
on the
didn't
All
make
Things Dave?
mine. I don't think
Okay,
it made yours though, I think.
yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, this movie stars Nicolas Cage, so we've all been around long enough to know Nick Cage. I'm not gonna, we're all in our 40s here. That's safe to say. Um, Andy, do you have a favorite Nicolas Cage movie or role?
Oh man, let's see. The first Nicolas Cage movie that comes to mind is like Face Off, or The
Classic.
Rock, those like late 90s action movies. That's kind of what I like him for.
It's like
But
Con Air, same time.
yeah, oh yeah, Con Air. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. But it's like
Put the bunny down.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, but this guy, he kind of had like a few different like eras or whatever of his career. You had like in the 80s or whatever, he had like his kind of like goofy teenage movies, and he had his action movies, and now he's kind of had a renaissance, with like a revival, whatever, with
Resurgence.
horror. Yeah, resurgence with horror.
I feel smart.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. I mean,
Well, good. Which one's your favorite?
oh, out of well, I mean, I
You started
definitely
reading his whole library to me.
yeah.
What do you
Um,
like?
So like as far as horror, um,
Didn't say that either.
okay, yeah, I
If somebody
mean,
walks up to you and says, "Hey man, I'm the biggest Nicolas Cage fan. How about you? What's your favorite movie?"
I really liked Mandy. I'll put that out
Oh, I
there.
haven't seen that.
I'll say Mandy because that's just like visually cool looking.
Okay.
It's probably more style over substance, but it's like if you took a sword and sorcery movie and like brought it into like today's time or like in the 80s or whatever, that's kind of what it's like. It's kind of weird. It's hard to describe, but that's really what it's like.
All right. Man, that does not entice me at all. Sword and sorcery,
Okay.
I'm out.
Yeah, not my thing either.
But if Andy says I should check it out, I'll watch it at least once. How about you, Randy, man? What when you think Nick Cage, where do you go?
Gosh dang, there's so many. But and this is gonna make me totally lame, but I would have to say in recent memory, The Croods.
The Croods.
Another one I didn't watch, but hey, they had a
Dude,
sequel.
he cracks me up, man. His voice acting is really good. And maybe I just don't know what makes good voice acting. I don't really know what makes good movies or good
Did you know he
stories.
did the voice for Spider-Man Noir? He's really good
No,
in that too. Yeah, so
no.
voice acting, you're on par. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Nicolas Cage, period. And that's a really difficult choice because I've liked so many of his movies over the years. He's kind of one of those people who's turning into like another Christopher Walken or a William Shatner where
Exactly.
he just is
Where he
aware.
plays himself rather than a character because he is a
Yeah,
character.
yeah,
Yeah.
but he's completely capable of really doing almost anything, in my opinion. But
Yeah, he's one of those guys who doesn't seem to ever turn a job down, right?
no. And I will say, interesting story. My buddy who lived in Texas worked with another guy whose son is the little boy in this movie. And so,
Oh wow.
Well, that's
yeah,
awesome
yeah.
because I know that the little boy in this movie is from Dallas, Texas. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
there you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, yep. And so basically, I didn't get to talk to that guy or, meet anybody or anything, but just based on what my friend said, they got to spend a decent amount of time around Nicolas Cage. And people have a lot of opinions about him, but they said that their experience with him was great. He was great with the kids and all that stuff. So I like him.
That's good to hear,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, just like Andy was saying, you go back to some of his 90s movies and 80s movies, you got like Guarding Tess and Andy and Amos and Raising Arizona, like all these big movies I remember
Crazy.
as a kid were on TV that were batshit crazy. But man, my favorite, and this is just the kind of person I am. Once I saw this movie, I was like, hands down, my favorite Nicolas Cage movie. It's Long Legs.
I haven't
Oh
seen it.
yeah.
That's a newer movie, right?
It
Yeah.
is
Okay.
very,
Yeah.
very new, and
Yeah.
it may or may
People
not
loved
be
it.
your cup of tea, but it like talk about setting the expectation low, watching something and then being blown away by it.
It's the
That was me
best.
right there. And then a side note too, Randy, you mentioned the little kid in this movie who's Jack, played by Julian Hillard. I was already familiar with him as an actor before seeing this movie because he was in The Conjuring Part 3, which,
Oh,
big fan of
wow.
that franchise too.
That's really cool, man. So he's got his start like in
Yeah, he did
horror.
some
That's
Marvel
really cool.
stuff. Like he's been
Nice.
around.
Yeah,
So,
that's awesome, man. He sounded like a really cool kid. So
Andy, did you know that my favorite H.P. Lovecraft story, Cool Air, was also an episode of Night Gallery?
Was it? Okay.
It was.
I
You
thought it sounded
should.
familiar, yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Good stuff. Great show.
I know like there's lots of movies that they're not Lovecraft stories, but they're big time inspiration. Like I've heard people talk about like The Reanimator is one of
Yep.
them.
Herbert West. Yep.
Yeah. And so I keep learning more, and it's just so cool that the dude, it's just a bummer he never got to see the splash he
But
made. You
that's
know
the
what I
way it
mean?
goes,
It
right?
is.
Like, Nirvana
It is.
became big after Kurt Cobain was gone. Picasso, paintings started to sell after he's gone.
Yeah, it's a
That's what
bummer.
sucks to be an artist, man. Like sometimes you don't see that fame afterwards.
No, you do not.
Much like this podcast. Get
Yeah.
them. But
We're gonna hope for it.
Andy, people are probably wanting to hear about Color in Space, so you want to go ahead and kick out that trailer in post production, and then we'll dive in.
All right, sounds good.
Look at this. All those years in the big city, we finally got out. We're living the dream.
Maybe it is a dream.
Then everything just blew up. Big flash, like a pink light. Or actually, I don't even know what color it was. It wasn't like any color I'd ever seen before.
Looks like a meteorite. You mean it's radioactive? I mean, it's from space, right? Meteorites are generally no more dangerous than ordinary rocks.
How can something that big just disappear? Did you plant those?
No.
Ward, you come here for a sec.
Oh, God.
What are you doing? Shh. It's talking to me. Who's talking to you? A man in the well.
It's in the static, it's in the moisture. It's in here, is out there. And what's out there is in here now.
Everything's under control.
Why are you so in denial? That thing from the meteorite changes everything around it.
It's just the color. But it burns.
Do you believe me now?
I don't know what I believe anymore. Everything's gonna be A-okay.
All right. So for anybody that doesn't want anything spoiled, this movie does stream currently for free on Tubi. And so if you don't want it spoiled for you, hop on Tubi. You can deal with the ads, but you know, it could be worth it too. So this movie is really batshit crazy. I love to use that term when it's applicable, and this movie defines what that is. And so, Randy, you know, typically when Andy and I get together, we do some really deep dives and we go beat by beat. I didn't really want to do that on this episode, especially with, you know, longtime friend, all of us here, we like to shoot the shit. I figured we'd do this a lot more, just general chat, kind of like we've already started. But I figured right out of the gate, you know, let's talk about what you think about this movie and why you brought it to the table.
That's a good question. I watched this recently, and I guess, you know, we have been, you know, me and my son have been he's been learning more. He's about to be 13. He's been learning more about, he's a big horror guy, and he's been learning more about H.P. Lovecraft and Poe and a lot of that classic stuff. We've been going through and watching a lot of classic horror movies and sci-fi type movies. We've been watching Aliens. We watched Gremlins a long time ago, but we went through, watched them again. He's going through like Ghoulies, Critters, like all this stuff. And
That's amazing.
yeah. And so the real stuff that we haven't got to yet is some of the more slasher stuff, or some of the stuff that might have nudity, and
Sure.
some of the stuff that's just a little bit out there. And to me, this was one of those movies, and I really wanted to watch it with him. But as I was getting more and more into H.P. Lovecraft, I would just ask my friends, like on Twitter, I said, you know, what's your favorite Lovecraft movie? And someone said Color Out of Space. And I'm like, okay, I have no idea. First time I'd ever heard of it, you know? And so
Randy's like, it's got space in the title. I'm in.
yeah. Well, that had to be part of it. But then I looked into it and I saw, oh, Nicolas Cage. And I'm terrible at like watching movies. It's something that I'm like, oh, I want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see that, but I don't make the time to do it. But one night, man, I think I was working on some music. I wrapped it up. It was still early enough in the night, and I just looked on Tubi and I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to watch that. And that was probably, I don't even know, about 6-7 months ago. And when you asked me, hey, you want to be on the show? Of course, I'm like, hell yeah. And when what are we gonna talk about? That was the one that made a mark on me. It's just right up my alley. Cosmic horror.
Does it do anything for inspiration for music for you now that you've seen it?
Absolutely. Any
Yeah,
any
I
sort of
figured.
stuff. Yeah. I mean, musically here on Mars, I'm leaned into the sci-fi big time. I'd say I'm a little more on the sci-fi, but with this upcoming release that I'll tell you about a little later,
Mhm.
it was the perfect timing for it.
Oh, I
It's
love
the
that.
perfect time. Yeah.
You got
Yeah.
to strike while the iron's hot, right? Isn't that what they
Hell
say?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. And so anyway, that was what was behind it, man. And I was like, ooh, I want to know what you guys think of this.
All right. Well, we know Randy loves it. Andy, how about you, man? Tell me about this movie. What'd you think?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it's kind of a bleak movie, but man, like the visuals were just like really cool.
And Magenta.
Yeah, magenta, yeah.
Yes, no doubt.
And yeah, special effects were pretty cool. I wasn't sure what all we were like, at the beginning, there wasn't, it took a little bit for the everything to kind of kick off, but yeah, I mean, the special effects were cool. And it just kind of went in directions I wasn't quite expecting.
You can say that
And
again.
yeah, and I mean, it did kind of have a bleak ending. Some, for the most part, it's kind of pretty bleak. But yeah, I don't know. I still liked it though.
Okay, cool, man. Yeah. So the thing with me is it's a well-made movie. I don't typically love sci-fi horror because for whatever reason, my sci-fi, I like it to be real lo-fi, chill sci-fi, which is why I like Star Trek, mostly the older stuff because it's not as action-packed. I like Andromeda Strain, just chill shit. And the first half of this movie was kind of chill, and so I was really into it. But I knew I was like, this is a Lovecraft story. It's going to eventually get kind of Lovecrafty, and I'm ready for it. But I wasn't ready for it because that went from 0 to 100 when it did, and it was really gnarly, especially when people get molded together.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah. And
man.
that's body horror, right?
yeah,
Yes.
That's what that is. Like,
Yeah.
okay, for listeners who haven't heard me talk before, I'm I'm a total knuckle dragger when it comes to this stuff. But yeah, body horror, that's probably the hardest thing for me with this whole deal. Yeah, the molding together, um, it's really heavy. It's hard to watch,
yeah.
especially
Especially, oh yeah, go ahead.
family members and
Yeah.
stuff. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I totally agree. It was really kind of upsetting at parts. Just with this what this family has already went through. The mom had cancer, and they're trying to kind of rebuild their life after she had kind of was in remission or whatever. She had her surgery to help to get rid of the cancer, and so. And you kind of see that too, like with Nicolas Cage talking about like, what we've already been through, and now we're going through this crazy space, whatever, meteorite thing, and but yeah, just seeing like what happened with the mom and the little boy, that I think
Hmm.
just because it was like a little boy, it's really kind of upsetting and disturbing,
It was
and
even more disturbing whenever one of the brother or the sister, I forgot which one, but they made a comment that was very similar to like, "Oh, he's just going back in," and I'm like, "Ugh,"
uh, oh, like
because
she's
like, "Oh,
like
she
absorbing
birthed
him,
that child, and that
yeah,
child's going back home." I'm like, "I don't need that."
yeah,
Ooh,
Yeah,
I don't even think I picked
it's the
that
small
up.
things, bro. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
damn. Yeah.
One
yeah.
thing that I thought was pretty cool though was the movie felt like a second chance, like it was a story building type atmosphere because everything had been through so much. Like this was Nicolas Cage's father's farm, and he had passed, and it seems like they were really looking forward to getting out of the big city and maybe just kind of bonding and a fresh start kind of vibe. And so I was totally on board with that because I've been to a farm before, so I know what that is. But Andy, whenever that meteor came down, I immediately started thinking of Creepshow.
Oh yeah, the lonely death of Jordy Verrill. Yes,
Yeah,
Stephen King
similar idea.
himself. Yeah, exactly. It was, and that creep show short is very much Lovecraft inspired, I feel like.
Has to be.
And and it's just like it's funny though, like, and look, we're getting a little bit off topic, but just Stephen King was great in that short. I mean, he's like meteor shit, and
Yeah.
just the way the character that he played, Jordy Verrill, and it was great. I really liked that.
Do you
But
think that that's something Randy needs to show his son? Creepshow? That's a fun one.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't have like it's like
There's not nudity or anything in it.
no,
Mm-mm.
there's
Randy, if
like
you're not too familiar with it, get the IMDb app because there's a section called the Parents Guide that I've always
Oh yeah.
used.
oh yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have the app, but I'll like search for it on Google
Yeah.
or something like that, and it'll point me to that or Common Sense Media, usually one of those two. But no, I'll get the app. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think Creepshow definitely generates some conversations. I don't know because there's definitely one character in it that uh says some like racist things like that. So
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
my
um
son hears that. My son will hear about. He doesn't even have to hear anything, but if he hears about it, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like crypto. It's like nails on a chalkboard for him.
Mm.
So, yeah, but no, no. I mean, it's out there.
We talked about people in this movie, and we're giving Nicolas Cage a lot of love, but we can't deny the fact that Sir Tommy Chong is in this damn movie.
Oh my gosh, that's probably where a lot of my favorite stuff in the movie happens. Um, especially when you see him for the last time. I think
Yeah.
that is one of the weirdest things to ever happen to somebody in a horror movie.
yeah, it didn't quite. I wasn't sure what to expect from his character. It's like he's this, you have Tommy Chong, everybody knows Cheech and Chong, and he kind of plays the same kind of character. But it was I feel like it was a little bit more restrained though, actually. But he was just this hermit living in the woods, and he was kind of like an inventor guy. He's like a really smart guy. You could tell he was an inventor. He was kind of making these electronic gadgets, and yeah, just the way that the story played out, he kind of got like possessed by the color or whatever. And yeah, like you said, the last scene, it's like the last scene that we see him in, it's you see his body and it's like all dried up or something
Yeah.
and but you hear his voice and that's you think he's still alive because as they're walking up to his little cabin you hear his voice coming out and so you think he's alive and so they go in but no he's like dead or whatever and it's just he recorded himself talking about the things that are happening on this farm and yeah it's a really eerie
Oh my God.
scene just the feeling you get because you hear his voice but you see his dead body there's
Mhm.
it's crazy.
It reminded me of this Vincent Price movie, and I'm spacing, pun intended, on the name right now, but I think it was pulled from Dexter Ward, another story from Lovecraft, but it gave me the same vibes where you hear a voice talking, but it's coming from an object. And so I
Yeah.
felt like they put that in this movie as a nod to another H.P. Lovecraft thing,
Oh, you're right.
Ah.
Yeah,
right?
because
Doesn't
in that
usually it's like
story,
lights or something?
well, in that story, the guy is dead,
Uh-huh.
but his like ghost like speaks through electronics.
Yes.
So yeah,
That's sweet.
yeah, it's a really cool story.
I like the part where Tommy Chong like drops the name. What did he say? Memorex? Isn't that the brand name? I was just like, yeah. He's talking about just the old like reel to
The
reel
old
tape
tape,
brand and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was- like some people today are not going to even know what that is.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely. It's so that ending or yeah, the ending, but that part stuck with me almost as much as the one other part, and I want to see if you guys mention it later, but there was one other part that stuck with me like hardcore. But that one, man, it was huge, and I was like, that is the most creative thing I have ever seen. I don't know why. I just loved it.
Let's just say that Lord of the Rings is not the only places where you see trees that walk.
That's
Oh,
true.
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
That's a good point. Damn. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the thing I liked the most about the movie was that it affected each character differently.
Absolutely. It's it's shrouded enough in mystery that you just it lets you see just enough of what it is. You see the effects of it, but it still just remains this completely like enigmatic thing. And I love that. I love that you're left wondering, what the hell was that?
Yeah, I mean, because even when you see whatever it is, it's just like a color. It's like it's not even like it doesn't even like it's not
Like
even
there's
like
no
a
form.
yeah. It's just this kind of amorphous like uh I don't even know, just the color in the sky
That's
and
why
like
it's called Color Out of Space, right? They
yeah.
didn't even know what to say.
But
Yeah.
I thought that was cool how it lived in the well. I thought that was kind of neat.
Yes. Yeah, it
And
was giving me like Amityville horror vibes, the way that
oh
the
yeah.
communication that the youngest son Jack had with the entity, because a lot of times we see horror movies with ghosts where only like the youngest child can see, and a lot of times it makes us think because children are kind of like susceptible and like open-minded to certain things, which
Mhm.
is why they're usually contacted. But in this one, it took that alien entity vibe, which is really neat. And you're right, the well was a really neat place because shit, we haven't seen wells in horror since like The Ring, at least in mainstream.
Yeah, The Ring, I mean, that was a really cool because you didn't know because that the well is the ring essentially,
Right.
and
Oh,
you didn't.
spoiler. If
Oh yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Old ass movie, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, that's a great mention. Um, but
We haven't
yeah,
talked about the daughter much in this one. What did you guys think of her performance and the stuff that was going on with her?
yeah, I thought it was interesting how they what they did with the character. They made her like a Wiccan.
Yeah.
And so like at
Or
the very beginning we see her like doing this ritual and then also at the end or towards the end she pulls out the Necronomicon, which is another HP
yeah.
Lovecraft
Yeah.
reference and she
Kind of like
tries to
some
do
Evil
like
Dead stuff right there.
exactly yeah she tries to do like some she tries to use magic to kind of ward off the evil or whatever but yeah I thought she was an interesting character. I kind of was rooting for her. It seemed like her and Ward had a thing going, the hydrologist guy, which we
Yeah.
haven't talked about yet, but
Not
I was
yet.
I was rooting for him, but as we know that she doesn't make it, she gets possessed too.
Yeah. It's it starts with the I'm trying to remember kind of the order. Really starts with the little boy. Like he's impacted the second that meteor comes in. And from then he's just it's kind of over for him. But yeah, I almost wonder if the movie is trying to suggest one way or the other that her magic has anything to do
Oh.
with it coming, or if it's
Like she
Oh
just
wow,
summoned it or something?
yeah,
interesting. Yeah,
or is it just a happy accident?
That makes
Or
me
like
like it even more if that's the case.
yeah.
yeah,
I never even
Yeah.
thought about that. That is really cool. I like that angle
yeah,
because she was doing the ritual to get rid of the cancer for her mom, basically.
right. And
And
she wanted to leave. She wanted to get out of there.
oh, that's
Like at the
right.
very beginning, she's like, "It sucks
Which
here."
both
Like
things did happen,
that's
technically,
Yeah.
and
that's
unfortunately.
that is for true, and it never it's never the way you think it should be.
No, it's always a monkey's paw situation.
Yeah.
I really liked Ward though. I thought he was a great character and great
Oh
actor
yeah.
by Elliot Knight. Like, yeah,
Same,
it's
same.
totally cool, and I'm glad that he's kind of the sole survivor because he was wonderful.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
good.
haven't seen him in anything else that I remember, but
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I didn't do much research on some of the folks in here. I just kind of let it be. And that was kind
mhm.
of nice about it too, because, we love to see reoccurring actors and actresses, especially in our subgenres. But it's always nice when you get surprised by somebody new. And there was quite a few new people. And I loved that this movie didn't have too many characters, also.
Absolutely.
We mentioned the wife played by Julie Richardson.
Hmm.
Um, she was like really familiar, and I had to kind of go back and look. She was in Event Horizon, so that was cool.
Oh
Whoops.
my gosh. Who did she
And
play? Was she the scientist on board that survived?
yes, I think so.
Spoiler alert.
Oh wait, no.
Yeah.
Wait, was she?
I can't remember. I'm trying to remember a blonde lady in that movie, but I can't. I'll have to look. I need to watch that again anyway. But
Yeah.
So she's no stranger to sci-fi. Cool. She was great in this.
You know,
she
there-
was great.
Yeah.
Even if she didn't have all of her fingers in the end, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that
That was the
dude,
most intense scene for me.
Oh, yeah.
dude, didn't that, if I'm not mistaken, that kind of kicked off where it really started going sideways.
Yes.
Am I right?
With the
Yeah.
violence, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. Goodness. It was
And
just out of nowhere.
I'm used to that kind of thing, you know, Andy and I, because we watch horror pretty much 24/7, but they did such a good job with how they filmed it, building that anticipation that me who's seen it a million times still felt uncomfortable building up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I just let Julie do the cooking now, you know? No. Love you, Julie.
I really liked the dynamic between her and Nicolas Cage through the whole thing,
It was
but
sweet.
especially once they were like starting to lose their shit and she comes down after she's trying to work again and she's like telling him to get on
Fix the dish.
Yeah, and he's just like, yeah.
Dude, you talk about the performances between them. One of my at most favorite parts of this entire movie is whenever Nicolas Cage starts to lose his shit over the food and he's like, slam dunk.
Yeah. It's so weird, just like biting out huge pieces of the tomatoes or whatever it is, and it just tastes wrong. And he's like, yeah, he's just, it's classic. He's still playing himself, I feel like. He's got the gonzo, but he really, like, it doesn't get too out there.
He's channeling his Vampire's Kiss type role right there.
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
so...
it's the meme you always see where he's like,
oh, okay, yeah,
wide-eyed,
yeah.
and yeah.
Never mind. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, he's good, but they did great together. Trying to think, like you said, not a ton of characters. Is there anyone else we haven't touched on?
I mean, we haven't really talked about Benny yet. He was kind of, I didn't know if he was the oldest or the middle child, but he was definitely the older son of the two, played by Brendan Meyer. And I really liked his story arc because he was that typical high school kid who smokes pot, he hides out, you know, stoner, rock and roll, the whole 9 yards. But my favorite thing is what happens to him. You know, we need to talk about the fact that they have alpacas here. Like they milk alpacas. I didn't even know you could milk an alpaca. I'm heavily interested in this now. But his job is to help his dad take care of these alpacas. And there's a scene where he's supposed to like round them up, you know, get them fed for dinner or whatever. And it just seems like the son comes wandering back at some point and all hours of the day have been lost. And I love when there's like time lapse stuff that I'm into.
Time dilation stuff. That's one of my
It's like simple but effective.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite sci-fi tropes, I think. Like, you know, when you get stuff like that in Interstellar or something like that. If you've seen that movie, it does awesome stuff with that. But yeah, so
I got a small story. I got a personal connection to the whole loss of time thing. So, you guys see this Spider-Man tattoo on my throat?
Yeah.
That's actually relative to this too. So, earlier this year, you guys remember that real severe allergy outbreak I had that I had no idea where it came from?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that shit sent me like in hives and I had to go to the ER and I was all alone for the better part of like a week, just me in my house by myself. And they had me doped up on these steroids. And so long story short, I didn't sleep for several days, but I also don't know what I did. And so the point is like the time had passed and I didn't know minutes from hours or anything. Like I just remember looking like the main character from Paranormal Activity. I was just standing there while the time just passed me by. And the only thing I did for that whole week of nothingness was listen to the Into the Spider-Verse soundtrack on repeat. And so I drew a big connection to Spider-Man, which is why I got it tattooed. But so when Benny started going through the things where he's like, I don't even know what's going on, like what day it is, what time it was, he felt like he had just walked outside to find out that all hours had passed me by. I heavily connected to it.
Lack of sleep will mess you up on its own. Like in you know, when I've done some trips overseas where it's like we spend like the least amount of money on tickets possible and you're like 36 hours in planes and and in airports waiting for planes, you connect like 4 times, and then you're in a time zone that's like 9, 10 hours away, and you can't even sleep when you get there. I mean, that alone has produced some really scary like moments for me mentally.
Yeah.
But if you add the stress of being sick on top of that and on steroids, which affect your mood big time anyway, I'm not shocked at all that that whole week would just be a blur.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of sleep deprivation at
Not
all,
at all.
especially hitting these older years in life. I'm
No
realizing how
way.
important sleep really is.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it ain't a method of torture for nothing. You know?
Right. Andy, what did you think about some of the ways that the characters were affected? Did you have a favorite situation?
I think that I mean, yeah, so the mother and son was interesting. It was like as far as the
Whew.
effects, the alpacas, what happened with them, like the melding together.
Very John Carpenter, The Thing, am I right?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. That was definitely straight out of the thing. And then even, how Nicolas Cage takes the shotgun out there and takes care of him.
Yeah, he handles
And
it.
you could tell he didn't want to because they had to invest a lot of money in those alpacas. And you kind of get the sense that there a lot was riding on this farm to be successful, I feel like.
Yeah.
And the mom was under a lot of pressure to do her business with some kind of finance stuff. And she was having issues, health issues, but then also the damn satellite dish,
That
and
Wi-Fi was not working for them, man. She was losing clients left and right.
but yeah, it's a very the family was very like you're kind of rooting for them, even though it's Lovecraft, they're probably doomed from the start. But yeah, it's
You know
uh
what made me laugh the most? The
what's up?
cat's name is G-Spot.
Oh,
Oh
I totally
yeah,
missed
yeah, yeah, yeah.
that.
You
Oh
missed
yeah.
that?
I probably
That
heard
makes
it
the
at the
joke
time.
even funnier because that's part of the joke is like
Oh yeah.
where's the G spot? It's like I have no idea. Like I get it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then they're
That's
like,
Ezra's cat. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and they're like, your pussy cat's named G spot. I'm like, oh, on the nose. But speaking about the animals, I did a little research, and it's good to know, no animals harmed in the making of the movie, yada yada. We hate when animals get tortured. We think animals are better than most people we know. I think all of us can get on that train.
Mhm.
But some of these animals are animal actors, and so we got some names. In real life, the alpacas are named Bruno, Rowan, and Tor. So that's cool. The horse in this, was played by two horse actors named Ulysses and Xbanga, which is cool.
Hmm.
And the dog Sam was played by three different dogs: Leanna, Mina, and Afro. And then the cat Andy, you love this. In real life's name is Lucifer. Somebody has
Oh.
a cat named Lucifer. That's dope.
All right. Yeah.
We talk about the human actors. We got to give props to the animal actors too.
Yeah, did we
100.
see much of the cat besides when they almost hit it with their car? I was trying to think, did we like see it? Actually see the
I
cat?
was ready to turn this movie off. I was like, if they hurt that cat, I'm out. I look over at Kick. I'm like, I'm with you, bro. But luckily, we don't see anything. Yeah, Kick's cool. He's chilling beside me right now.
Yeah. What happened to the dog? I can't remember.
The the dog is one on one with Benny. That's his best friend, but the dog just ends up going missing, right, Andy? And he thinks it's in
Yeah,
the well, and that's what
exactly.
causes
Yeah.
Benny's
That's it.
actual consumption. Benny goes in the well because he thinks he hears the dog,
Yeah.
even though his sister, Lavinia, is that how we say that
Yeah,
name?
that's
I
it.
can't-
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's such a strange
Lavinia.
name.
Cool name.
Yeah, it's I didn't mean strange. I meant interesting. But
No, it's cool.
yeah, she's like, it's just a dog. And I'm like, girl, you better recognize that's his best friend right there. And
Yeah.
I go in
Yeah.
that well too, but I knew like voices from the well, this is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
so I took it upon myself to listen to the audiobook for The Color Out of Space before, we in addition to watching the movie just to kind of see how the two lined up or whatever.
Yeah,
And it was
fill us in.
interesting. So I mean, of course, the original story is set like in 1800 and something, kind of the olden days. But they are still on a farm, so that much is the same. And the meteor falls, but actually in the book, it's the family, the husband and wife, and his three boys. Those are the
Okay.
kids,
Ah.
and they do have a farm with some animals, but they don't have alpacas. Um,
Damn.
the meteor does land, and it kind of plays out the same way. Well, so in the book, there's these scientists that come to study the meteor, and they actually cut a piece of the meteor out and they take it back to the lab, and it like disappears. Like
Uh-oh.
the piece of the meteor just like dissolves and disappears.
As the
And
meteor disappears in this movie. Okay.
Right.
exactly, yeah. And so in the book, I think, like some of the family members start changing, start mutating, so they actually lock them up in the
Word.
attic, which they
That
did that in
happens.
this, but like in the book, they locked the mother and the son up in separate attics
Mm.
or separate rooms in the attic, but then uh, yeah, but then like stuff happen, they further mutate and they become a threat. And uh,
So
the
do they
f
not get molded together?
no, they don't get molded
Okay.
together in the book. Like,
I'm glad they added that in the movie because that was cool.
yeah, so in the book, the only things that really get molded together are like some of the forest animals
Hmm.
and some of the smaller like chickens and stuff like that. Like those kind of things get molded together in the
It's
book.
poltergeist all over again.
Exactly, yeah. And then the father he like basically kind of like gets all mutated, but he kind of tells, because all the H.P. Lovecraft stories are kind of narrated by somebody.
Right.
So they're all kind of told in like a first person point of view. So like you're kind of hearing a retelling of the events that happen. So like in this one, the father gets like all messed up, but he is able to tell the narrator kind of what happened. And but the thing is it's in the well in the book too, and it kind of comes out of the well, and it's just like this like color, like this they describe it as a color that they've never seen before,
I
so I
felt
guess
like
that's
that's what they were going for in the movie too. Like we call it
yeah,
magenta, but there was shades of other things, and I think the characters described it as such as a color they couldn't describe.
yeah. And so basically like it was like a hydrologist, the guy, he's like the only survivor in the book too, just
Tell
like
me that's
in
not that's a real job?
yeah, somebody who tests water, I mean.
Pass.
Yeah.
But in the book it ends the same way. The family gets like absorbed over by the thing, and the thing shoots up into back to outer space where it came from. Um, it does.
Does any H.P. Lovecraft story have a happy ending? Jeez.
No,
Eh,
I
um,
don't think so.
Quick answer, no.
yeah.
No,
The only
that
thing
was
that
a
we don't
sting.
get in the book is the flash to seeing what the alien
Oh, that was
planet looks like.
cool.
Yeah,
That was my other. That was my number one
that was cool. Yeah,
thing. Oh my gosh, dude. I just love how it gives you this glimpse of where it came from.
Some
yeah,
insight.
Yeah, and it's like I thought they did a great job of like depicting. I don't know if you'd call it another planet or another solar system or whatever. To me, it's like, yeah, it was on a comet, but that looked entirely not of our material plane.
Right.
It looked completely foreign. And that's a hard thing to do, in my opinion. You know what I
yeah,
mean? To do a visual of that and not have it just be too corny or kooky or whatever. I thought it was pretty freaking dope.
I
yeah,
like how they did it in the way that it comes down to the last two survivors of the movie, which is Lavinia and Ward, who have a really sweet connection throughout the movie. It felt authentic. I really liked it. But you can see, like Andy mentioned, Lavinia does become possessed with this entity. She succumbed to it, and they lock eyes, and you think that Ward is also going to get possessed, because that tends to be what happens when people lock eyes with someone else who's possessed.
Mm.
It kind of it passes through, but instead Ward gets to visually see the world that this entity had come from. And yeah, dude, it looked like a fucking Tool album cover or something. It
Oh,
was
yeah.
cool. I
It
could just hear
did. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What? And it's like it spared him. I feel like it spared him for some reason. I don't I don't know though, but like there's absolutely no reason that he should have survived that. He didn't he didn't drink the water,
Right,
but neither did the sheriff, I don't think. So the tree snapped him up.
which was
But
wild.
yeah, everything seemed linked to did you drink the water? you know?
See, I've been saying water's bad for years, but nobody believes me, bro. Stay away. But you do run into certain stories where sometimes a lone survivor is left behind just to merely tell the story of what
Right.
happened,
No, that's fair.
pass the
Yeah.
torch, right?
Yeah.
And they end the movie with that too. They talk about how like life goes on and some people remember what happened. Like, huh. And then you see an insect fly by and it's all colorful. You're like, oh, we're not done.
And see, I didn't catch that at all when I
Oh,
watched it. I didn't actually catch that until I was just like bored one day and reading a synopsis of it.
sure.
That yeah, the fly has the color on it, and it's like,
Yep.
oh geez, that's your classic horror thing. Like, oh, it's all over, or is it?
Right. And that,
Like yeah.
that insect can go anywhere and spread the curse,
Exactly, exactly. So yeah.
We didn't get a lot of time with Sheriff Pierce, played by Josh C. Waller, but we see him and the mayor a couple of times. And
Oh god.
with the hydrologist, they talked about like wanting to build a dam. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, reservoir. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't totally understand the whole dynamic with that because it sounded to me like their farm was going to get consumed by
I
that.
think they were trying to get him to sell it and he wouldn't.
Yeah.
So they were always putting the pressure on. There was just some bad juju between them.
Well, and yeah, that's why she was like, you should have sold this to me when you had
Yeah.
the chance. And I hated her guts. She
I know
did a
it was
good
like,
job.
was there an ultimatum like, or else?
Yeah.
Like, what are you
and
gonna
so,
do? Just yeah.
Yeah, and in the end, the whole thing's underwater. So it was like, what were you guys planning on doing at this farm if it was gonna get
Maybe they brought the comment, bro.
maybe?
This is how we're gonna get him out of the house.
Yeah, yeah, that's a pretty drastic measure, but yeah, man. I mean, ultimately, it's not that important, but yeah, and Andy having heard the story, I mean, I feel like they must have like, unless the family in the original story is also just so down on their luck, like if the family in the original story isn't having as hard a time as these people, wife has cancer, dad's a weirdo who drops a bunch of money on alpacas,
Also an
alcoholic, right? All of this stuff that is just going south. Why did they feel the need to like make it that much more like bleak,
Yeah, so in the book, I mean, they were pretty normal. They weren't really struggling uh, like this, like the movie family was. And it seems like in the book, they actually created the reservoir after the events of the story to kind of like cover it up. Yeah, because this whole area is just like they call it a blasted heath, and it's just like this like barren patch of land basically where like nothing grows. So I think they just wanted to make this reservoir to cover it up, so everybody could just kind of forget about it.
They say that phrase somewhere in the movie too, and now I
Yeah.
can't remember it. Yeah. They just thought to themselves, let's just really pile this on and make this as intense of a horrible experience for the viewer as possible. Or maybe they just wanted you to root for them more, or I don't know.
There's a trend though of horror movies in the late 2010s, maybe early 2020s, Andy, right? Of just, I forgot the term for it, but it's like depressing horror movie, like The Lodge, like just having those bleak, like
yeah.
I feel like I need a shower after watching that because I just feel sad and dirty,
Yeah, it seems like to be a lot of that. Like a lot of that came out in the 2010s and like you said, the 2020s. There's just a lot of bleak stuff coming out. And yeah, I'm not like super big into that. Did you
Did you ever?
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I was gonna kind of change the subject. So if you wanted to keep
Oh,
talking
me
about
too.
it.
So we'll go
Okay.
with yours.
Did you catch who the director was of this movie?
That's exactly what I see. This is why we do a podcast together. I was literally about to ask you if you had seen the Island of Dr. Moreau remake.
I did. I actually saw it in the theater.
Holy moly. Did you like it?
Not really.
Does that
How
make
can
sense for
one-
this movie?
What's that?
Is there a lot of parallels between the direction of that movie and this movie?
Uh, I don't know. I guess I have to go
Artistically,
back
no?
and watch it. Yeah.
It's a huge, I mean, it's what, 30 something years apart.
I will say that this definitely had a feeling of being like lower budget, and that one was more of like a big budget production
Oh,
type
for
thing.
sure. There's a reason why they talk about the collapse of that movie is because it had studio backing. Where
Yeah.
this one, like, what was this a Shudder original or anything?
Yes, I think so.
Nice. That's why it took me so long to see it too.
Yeah.
Shudder's
So,
great, just don't have it.
so the director of this movie is the one that directed The Island of Dr. Moreau.
Apparently, he got fired from that too,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a really interesting series on YouTube. It's called Production Hell, and it talks about movies that are notorious for like how everything just went wrong.
Mm,
And actually it was and there's one on The Island of Dr. Moreau, but that series actually gave me an appreciation for every movie
sure.
unless it's like Jerry Bruckheimer or something like that, where I'm just like, get that nonsense. I can find something to appreciate now in every movie, because the fact that any movie gets made is a complete miracle.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do, man. There's so many people and so many things involved. It takes all kinds of works of life and talent to produce anything, and much less an hour and a half to 2 hour movie is phenomenal. Anything from pre-production to post-production. You see movies that like get written or shelved and then eventually see the light of the day, and it's amazing.
I mean, Nicolas Cage, the Superman movie he was going to be in,
Uh,
right?
there
I
you
mean,
go.
yeah,
He
talk
finally
about
got to
memes.
do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, shit, how much money did they spend on that? I think there's actually a Production Hell episode on that. The guy is the critical drinker, if
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
not going to throw
mistaken.
too much shade, but there seems to be a trend on some Warner Brother DC properties that got shelved. Even after completely filmed, they decided to save money on distribution by just not doing the movie, even though the movie was made.
That's just
So
heartbreaking.
it
Yeah.
is. But we'll go back to this movie, Color Out of Space. So, final thoughts, other things you guys want to talk about that we left out? The room is quiet.
I'm struggling to think.
I think
mean,
we covered most of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It's how do I put it? It says a lot without saying too much, like small cast of characters, one central location, um, a lot of crazy stuff happening, and it's like after you watch it, you're just like, geez.
Yeah. Is this Andy? How many
Yep.
times did you watch this?
I just watched it the one time.
Is this a movie you would recommend?
Um, yeah, I would recommend it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, obviously Randy recommended it to us, so he would recommend it.
Yeah. I'd be pretty selective about who I recommend it to, though, because
Would you put it in the same vein of like, hey, if you like Event Horizon, you should check out Color Out of Space, or are they too different?
I'd say from a purely visual standpoint, no movie ever messed with me the way that Event Horizon did. Just purely visual in a way that messed me up for a really long time when I was 17 years old. This doesn't quite do that to me, but it is definitely disturbing in the different ways we talked about with the body horror and the body horror connected with family. If this were like before my son was born, it would be like whatever, it wouldn't affect me the way that it does now. But
Right. If it had
it's
like spliced together just a couple of hobos on the street that you don't have any character development with.
or even like, I mean, I hate to say it, but it just not
Say
since
it.
having a kid and being married as long as I've been married, seeing a wife and a son and a family and stuff, it just wouldn't have affected me the way I would have recognized, yeah, that's heavy, but I wouldn't feel it on the same visceral level I felt it when the wife and the kid are suffering. And just to see that is really heavy. So yes, if you are into Event Horizon, I would recommend this because it's along the same vein and it's tremendously screwed up. Now, there's a lot of movies that I just won't watch because, and I know I've talked with you about what those movies are,
Yeah.
just because I heard what happens in them, and I'm like, no, no, not gonna go there. That's just too dark. I can't compartmentalize it. You know what I mean? And be like, nah, it's not real life. It's just what's being depicted is too awful. But this isn't one of them. It's right up there though. Comes real close.
Yeah, I when I described this movie, I basically was telling Julie and Ed the Undead, shout out to my brother, that I enjoyed watching it. I don't regret watching it, but I might never watch it again. But that's not to deter that other people shouldn't watch it. It's just if sci-fi horror is your bag, you'll probably like it.
Yeah.
Simple.
So, with that in mind, did you watch or like Annihilation?
Okay, I always get two movies confused. Who's the lead actor or actress in Annihilation? Is that
Is
the
it?
Natalie Portman movie?
Yeah, Natalie
I didn't see
Portman.
that one. I saw the other
Okay.
one that is similar, apparently, that Julie really likes. That has
What's
like
oh, I'll be
Jeremy
interested.
Renner in it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I don't think I do, but
No.
I
I'm
even think it
interested.
starts with the A, and I could be wrong. But yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to find that out.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But talking about sci-fi, it makes me think of sci-fi music, Randy. It's a perfect time to talk about you, bro. We brought you on the show. You mean you got two good friends over here that also love your music, but let's get some listeners turned on to it. Tell us, who are you and what do you do?
Yeah, so I make music as Here on Mars. I've made music as Here on Mars for probably like 7 or 8 years now. It's crazy to think
Yeah.
that.
Going on a decade.
I've got a bunch of smaller, I do EPs usually. Usually there'd be like 6, 7 tracks on my releases, with some exceptions. But um, yeah, Here on Mars, all one word, here on Mars.bandcamp.com. You can listen to it there. Here on Mars, on all the streaming services and stuff. I'm looking to start doing more stuff on YouTube. That's something I want to get back into, do like some live stream performances again. I did the one back in 2021, which is nuts because I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that again in a few months. And then here we are 4 years later, but that's okay. I'm working on a release, and this is the first place I've said it. So it's going to be called The Abyss Stares Back.
Yeah.
And yeah. So it's very Lovecraftian. The lyrics are going to be very Lovecraftian inspired. Complete mix of sci-fi horror type stuff. Right now, it's going to have it'll have 6 or 7 songs on it. I've got some really cool things in store art wise, as well as special guest wise on one song. And so I'm super excited about it. Also the funny thing about this, I started all these songs about 6 years ago, and they were going to be part of a collaboration that didn't end up happening. And so I had these, like, I would say halfway finished songs, for years, and I've heard them a certain way. And so now I'm going back and finishing them. It's almost like a time capsule. It's kind of a trip, but yeah, it's going to be cool.
It's just we were just talking about movies that, were getting written and shelved and then seeing the light of the day. So is this album.
Yeah, and it's
Bravo.
crazy. It's crazy because you'll get and I mean, Andy can tell you this too. You'll get a musical idea and you'll fix it in some sort of form, whether it's like, Andy would do garage band back in the day. And like when we met and he had all the song ideas that became Me and My Shadow songs. I mean, some of those were probably pretty freaking old, and it's the same type of thing. I've got stuff that is just ancient. I'm talking like 20 years old that's getting, put into new stuff. And so yeah, that's part of the fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. And I love that you still sometimes do physical formats and then, of course, can stream anywhere. So, listeners, screamers, if you followed me and Andy for a long time, you've probably heard about Randy before. But if people are really new, if they just tune in because they like H.P. Lovecraft and Color Out of Space, check out some of the music out there that Randy puts out. Here on Mars, I'm a big fan. And I'm guilty of being a friend before I was a fan, but I think that totally amplified my fandom for the music. And my favorite album to this day is still probably Apocalypto Electro Rock. But Randy, might I say, after watching this movie, we need to get a Alpaca Lipto Retro Rock. Let's do it.
You are so good with that wordplay stuff, man. Talk about quick on the draw, dude. And by the way, before I forget, I know it's kind of a little detour, but we had watched Napoleon Dynamite the other day, and
Oh yeah.
and the whole time I was rewatching Color Out of Space, I just kept thinking, Tina, eat the food.
So,
Yeah.
ironically, when that had come up, so Andy and I are both big fans of Napoleon Dynamite. He sends me alpaca gifts and memes all the time, even clips of that movie. So, literally dealing with that.
Tina, come here, you fat lord.
Yeah.
Eat the food.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Well, I think that about wraps this up, Andy. Anything else? Any more
No.
house cleaning?
No, I don't think so.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys checking out this episode. We got links and things in the description of it, but stick around because shit, it's spooky season and we got some really neat ideas for Halloween. We got a couple episodes where we're going to do some very neat top fives, but you'll have to stay tuned to see what that is. And so that does it for this episode. I'm Phantom Dark Dave.
And I'm Abnormal Andy.
Thank you for listening to the Scream and Skull podcast.
See ya.
Peace.